Hello everyone, welcomes to my Sister Wives Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. After Garrison Brown's death, Maddie Brown of Sister Wives is unwilling to let go of her anger. Maddie used social media on April 18th to share reflections from her journey of gratitude. She also talked about how her brother's suicide had affected her and how she was handling her anger. Garrison was discovered dead in his Flagstaff, Arizona, home on March 5. Since then, Maddie has shared multiple times how she is handling the challenging circumstances. She said in a recent Instagram post that she began concentrating on thankfulness in November 2023 after growing interested in its profound effects on our well-being. She remarked, "The realizations I had were nothing short of remarkable, showing how a straightforward practice could dramatically change our emotional terrain." Then, last month, Garrison passed away unexpectedly. She said, "I've been holding on to a lot of anger lately and it's been eating away at me day after day. I'm starting to feel ready for a change, it's becoming too heavy to bear." Maddie continued, "I'm not quite ready to commit to another month of focused thankfulness or to let go of my anger totally just yet. But I'm ready to stop feeling irritated the moment I get up and to stop letting my anger ruin the rest of the day. Developing a more compassionate heart appears to be the first step, and thankfulness seems like the ideal instrument for this." Maddie has learned that her journey seems to be filled with both shadows and light as she works through her grief. She commented, "Whilst the loss of what was once familiar is extremely painful, the appreciation for the times we had together is incredibly strong." She went on, "I know that it's perfectly okay to find little moments of gratitude in the middle of the suffering. I think accepting gratitude means allowing ourselves to appreciate the full breadth of our experiences, the bitter and the sweet. It doesn't mean ignoring our hurts." Maddie also discussed the value of taking care of oneself and mental health in an Instagram video posted on March 18th. "I think we don't talk about mental health enough, even though it's so essential," the woman remarked. "Furthermore, I believe we don't do enough to raise awareness. Bullying wasn't the situation. Garrison's problem was not a lack of love, but rather his mental health. And until I am blue in the face, I will not stop talking about mental health and self-care." The TLC star revealed that her brother has trouble comparing himself to other web users. "I think we need to remember that Garrison used to feel like he wasn't doing enough because he was comparing himself to things on social media, and I don't think that's real," the woman stated. "Thus, keep in mind that when you see someone post something, it's only their highlight reel and you're not seeing all that's going on behind the scenes. This will help you if you ever start to feel bad about yourself." The reasons why Kody Brown is the most hated TLC villain of all time. Kody Brown from Sister Wives is, in my opinion, the most despised villain on TLC. He's not very good. With his crunchy curls and generally irritating demeanor, what's not to adore about him? It's true that if you watch the earlier seasons, the Browns looked like a really sweet family. I argue that Kody felt something for all four of his wives. He is patient, kind, and considerate. He listens intently and speaks softly. But the person who makes a reappearance in subsequent seasons is a completely different person. Due to his impatience, frequent outbursts of fury, and inability to forgive any of them, Kody lost his first 3 marriages. Nowadays, the well-liked TLC series is less about a loving family and more about how much Kody has transformed into his evil persona. The 18-year-old father has frequently accused his wives of shit-talking him. But the majority of people would view his actions as venting. Despite his initial demands for constant dedication, Kody never provided it. Instead, cameras frequently caught him making fun of all of his wives, except for Robin Brown, who was his favorite. The Arizonan even had the audacity to call Janelle Brown lazy during their furious dispute. The mother of 6 has been one of the few women with a stable income, despite Kody's extravagant lifestyle. Kody has been displaying a lot of villainous behavior. During season 16, Kody made extremely strict COVID-19 regulations public, which had some very unfavorable outcomes. Moreover, Kody was the one who had hoped to be chosen by the spouses, but Janelle and Christine Brown had the opposite effect on him. Cody wrote, "To be honest, I think Janelle is lazy about an ounce of prevention," following his rebuke. In addition to calling his wife insulting, he called Christine and Janelle two princesses giving ultimatums after they refused to move into a single home on Coyote Pass. Though hate is a strong word, Cody occasionally behaves strangely toward his older children. Watchers of Sister Wives have seen Cody fire son after son for having opinions he thought were dictatorial. One terrible trait of the polygamous patriarch is that he may start to view his children differently once they reach the verbal maturity stage. Cody plans to disappear from every child's life unless they approach him and beg for forgiveness. He too responded similarly to his husband's questions, often cutting them off romantically and sexually. No one has ever forgotten how he turned down Isabel Brown's back surgery to perform a wedding ceremony instead of attending her procedure. Maddie Brown and Leon Brown's father stopped communicating with them years before the family broke up, and they had no communication at all with him. Why did you choose to have so many kids, Cody, if you didn't want them in the first place? When something in his life did not go as planned, Cody was not the kind to own up to it. His treatment of his split from Christine serves as a perfect example of this. The man who has had many wives is happy to point fingers as if it were a game of cat and mouse, but he never once says to himself, "I did X wrong. I'm wrong." Cody didn't admit he was wrong until he brought up the idea that he ought to have established a patriarchy rather than granting his wife excessive autonomy. I think that Cody has always been like Way, which is why he would have been drawn to Mormonism at first. I think that Cody has always been the kind of person who can give it all but crumbles when it comes time to accept responsibility for anything. As a Mormon, Cody has come to terms with the fact that he is a god. Put simply, his wives and children would always be held responsible for whatever bad feelings they experienced. Mary Brown says she doesn't regret her time with Cody Brown, despite the fact that their marriage didn't work out. The Sister Wives actress posted an emotional perspective on her previous marriages and divorce on Instagram this week, on what would have been her and Cody's 34th wedding anniversary. She stated, "I've thought about it today, and I've decided that I will address this. 34 years ago today, I tied the knot. This family started 34 years ago, and many of you have grown to love them or not so much. Yes, I am well aware of the polarizing nature of this subject." Mary stated that, after marriage, she never anticipated a divorce or in the many years following. The reality personality said that although breakups can be very difficult, she is choosing to view things positively. She wrote in a letter, "I don't regret my marriage, and I don't regret my divorce. As I look back over the years, I can see areas where I could have done better, regions where I thought I did the best I could, and parts where I felt most at ease. When I think back, I am grateful for the lessons learned and the experiences had." Mary, whose turbulent marriage to Cody was chronicled during the last few seasons of Sister Wives, discussed how her viewpoint has evolved after her divorce. "For a very long period, I was surrounded by the narrative that claimed I was a failure if I couldn't keep my marriage together. But what if I told the opposite version of that story?" She wrote a note. "What if, instead, I looked at all the lessons I lived and realized that's what made me who I am today?" Marketing.